In this video, we'll look at the WASSCE 2023 General or Core Mathematics, the Nigerian paper, objective question number 23. And it says that an empty cylindrical tank is 140 centimeters in diameter. If 200 liters of water is poured into the tank, calculate, correct to the nearest centimeter, the height of the water in the tank. Take pi equals 22/7. Before we start, if today is your first time on my students class channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that you'll be promptly informed anytime we upload a new video. And hey, one more thing, click the like button so that the video can reach a lot of people. Thank you. Now let's continue. Now here, what have we been given in the question? First, let us try to understand it. We are talking about a cylindrical tank. That is a tank which is in the shape of a cylinder. So of course we are talking about a cylinder. So that is the shape of a cylinder. Okay, a cylinder has, a circular base area. That is the base area of the cylinder, or the base of the cylinder, or the cross section of the cylinder is circular. So the area of base of a cylinder, is pi r squared, because the base is in the form of a circle here and there. It is in the form of a circle. We also call it the area of cross section. Okay, and that is the same as the pi r squared. So a cylinder has a circular base, and it also has a height, a vertical height. All right, now what are we talking about here? We are told that 200 liters of water is poured into the tank. So we are talking about volume of water. Volume of water is 200 liters. All right, so because we are talking about volume, then we have to look at two things. The question is that what determines the volume of a cylinder? Let us try to think straight. Now, let us take some cylinders. Example, let us take a milk tin and, a Milo tin, or let's take these cylinders. If I draw this, let's call this cylinder 1 or figure 1. And if I draw figure 2 this way, now these two, which one of them, let's call this figure 2, which one of the two will have, a bigger volume? It is very difficult to tell, because if we look at this and that, they don't have the same base area. This has a broader radius, or let me say a bigger base area, and this one has a smaller one. But when we come to the vertical height, this has a smaller vertical height, and this one has a bigger vertical height. So it's very difficult to compare the two. All right, so when we talk about volume, there are two things I want to say here. The volume of a solid figure is determined by the area of the base. That is to say, the bigger the base area, the bigger the volume. So if you look at this, the bigger the base area, the bigger the volume. And also it is determined by the vertical height. All right. So anytime that you ask to find the volume of a solid figure, when we say a solid figure, it means that a figure that we can put something in. So you can see that with a cylinder, we can put in water. So the volume of a cylinder is equal to, first, the area of the base. The area of the base, that is the first thing, then times the vertical height. So what is the shape of the base of a cylinder? It is a circle. And what is the area of a circle? It is pi r squared. So the area of the base of a cylinder is pi r squared times the vertical height, which is h. So this means that the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h, as simple as that. So we are going to use this formula to solve this question. So we say volume equals pi r squared h. Let us look at what we have here. We are told that an empty cylindrical tank is 140 centimeters in diameter. So diameter is 140 centimeters. So if diameter is 140, the radius is half of the diameter. So that will be half of 140, and that is 70 centimeters. We are also told that 200 liters of water is poured into the tank. So the volume of water is 200 liters. But here we have to be very careful because we cannot be dealing with centimeters and liters at the same time. We must have one unit, because whatever we work here will be in centimeters cube, because volume is measured in cubic unit. So that is to say we have to convert liters to centimeters cube. But let's look at this. 1000 centimeters cube is equal to 1 liter. So there is something we have to know. So if we have 200 liters, then we can convert this to something centimeters cube. So that will be more, right? Because we have 200, 1 liter gives 1000 centimeters cube. So 200 liters will give more. And we say if more, less divide. So we say 200 liters divided by 1 liter times 1000 centimeters cube. So we have the liters cancelling out, and we have this to be equal to 200,000 centimeters cube. All right, so let's come back to this. What is the question asking? It is asking us to find the height. We have volume. So all that we have to do is to do some small change of subjects. So we have already established that the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. So let's make h the subject here. To do that, we divide both sides of the equation by pi r squared. So this implies that h equals v on pi r squared. Okay, so what is v? V is 200,000 centimeters cube. And what is pi? We've been given pi as 22 on 7. So we put it here, 22 on 7 times r. We were given diameter as 140 centimeters, and from it we divided it into 2, and we had radius to be 70. So we have r squared, so we have 70 squared height. So height is equal to this. All right, let me do some calculations. So I'll pull up my calculator. All right, so I'll type this 200,000, 200, 1, 2, 3, and I'll press on the fractional template. 22, and I'll press on it again. On 7, I'll press on the right cursor key times 70 squared. And what is this? I have 1000 on 77. Press on SD and convert it to decimal. I have 12.987. So let me put it here. So 12.987, and the unit is centimeters cube now. And we have to be very careful here. The unit here, height, will be centimeters. The reason is very simple. Here is centimeters cube, all right, but don't forget that r2 is a length. The radius is in centimeters. So here we will have centimeters squared here, because the r is what? Squared. So we will have centimeters squared cancelling out centimeters squared, so we will be left with centimeters. So the height is measured in centimeters but not centimeters cube. But the question says that we are to leave our answer to something, to the nearest centimeter. So we have to convert this to the nearest whole number. So h will be equal to right after the point we have 9, which is more than 5, so we add 1 to this and we have 13 centimeters. So the height of the water in the cylinder will be 13 centimeters, and that is the option C. All right.